Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The temperature is 71 and a capacity crowd of 56,000 on hand. I'm Jack Buck, and Hank Stram will give you the list of all the Tampa Bay Buccaneer injuries.
If I do that, we won't have time to do the game this afternoon because the injuries to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have already been numerous. I would say this afternoon, though, that, it's amazing. They have 9 offensive linemen, and the starters, 5 people, have only played a total of 47 seconds as a unit in 4 games, which is really incredible. In conjunction with that same thought, James Wilder, their fine fullback, is nursing a bad side, and he's questionable this afternoon, plus the fact that last night, Turdell Middleton, one of the running backs who they were counting on a lot this afternoon, missed curfew and isn't going to dress for the game this afternoon.
Green Bay came out of that game on Monday night in pretty good shape physically, except for Eddie Lee Ivory. We'll have to wait and see about him. Meanwhile, the Packers played rather poorly against the Giants.
They did, Jack, but overall, if they scored the 2 touchdowns, which they had a chance to do, they would have had 14 points or at least 10, and they had the ball on 7 occasions inside of their own 20-yard line. It's tough to win when you play that kind of football, but overall, I think in the final analysis here this afternoon, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have to run to win, and the Green Bay Packers are going to have to throw the ball a lot to do so.
Green Bay has won the toss, and so Bill Capice will kick it off, and one of our questions has already been answered, as Eddie Lee Ivory is back to get the opening kickoff. He's number 40 for Green Bay. The sun's shining. He may have a bit of a problem with that, and we hope you enjoy the game from Green Bay, Wisconsin. This is a grass field, as you can tell. And with Ivory back in there, that means the Packers are in pretty good shape physically. Capice awaits the signal from the referee. The referee is Tom Dooley, and here we go. And he had a little bit of trouble picking up that ball in the sun, and in addition, it sailed over his head. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. Let's check the defense for the offense. First of all, for Green Bay, with Lynn Dickey at the controls. Harlan Huckleby was due to start. We'll see if Ivory goes in there or not. And it's going to be Gary Ellis at the fullback spot with Lofton and Jefferson, the wide receivers. The tight end is Paul Kaufman, Swanky, Kitson, McCarron, Harris, and Cook. Up front for Green Bay, they start at their own 20-yard line. David Drexler is at left guard rather than Kitson. Motion by Jefferson, and Dickey to the air. Hit as he throws, it's incomplete. Out to the 25-yard line to John J. Jefferson, the defense for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Up front, John Cannon, David Logan, Leroy Selman, they're solid there. The linebackers, Cecil Johnson, Jeff Davis, Brantley, and Green. Hawkins is not starting today. And the deep backs are all mixed around. We'll pick up on this for you later, but Jeremiah Castillo, John Holt, Johnny Ray Smith, and Mike Washington comprise the defensive secondary for the Bucs. Meade goes in motion, and here's a toss to Ivory. He got about 9 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Let's talk about that secondary of Tampa Bay and score it away for us, will you, Hank?
Well, John Holt's going to start at the right cornerback, and Jeremiah Castillo is going to start at the left cornerback. Washington's going to start at the safety position, and Cedric Brown is going to be the free safety, but they've had to make some changes. And it's not like these people have never played the positions before, except that they haven't played as a quartet as often as they would like to have played coming into this game.
All they need is one little mix-up, and they'd be in trouble. Paul Kaufman and Gary Lewis, 2 tight ends, 3rd and 1. Clark in the backfield, motion by Kaufman. Kaufman with a good block. There's a first down for Green Bay. A good block by the tight end, and the rookie out of Arkansas, Jesse Clark, made the first down, and Jeff Davis, the inside linebacker, tackled him. There's the first down of the afternoon, and we're off to a rather crisp start with no flags or anything of the sort. The ball is at the Green Bay 32.
One thing, anytime you play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you know you're going to be in a tough afternoon defensively. They give some yardage, but it's hard to make a big play against them. Plus, they gang tackle extremely well.
Ellis goes in motion. Here's a toss to Ivory. And he didn't get much, did he? About 2 yards. About 2 yards before Jeff Davis, number 58, made another tackle for the Bucs. Cecil Johnson is working at the left linebacker spot. Andy Hawkins has a bad ankle and cannot start today.
Cecil Johnson has really been a great player. He's 6'2", 235, 7-year pro from Pittsburgh. Came as a free agent in 1977, but I guarantee you don't miss much when he's playing. He's a good one.
Green Bay has kept the ball for a minute and a half. They're at their 34. Dickey's going to put it up again. Long and outside, wide open, and incomplete to Lofton. Dickey has a bad thumb on his throwing hand. Now, he says it doesn't perturb him one bit. Since he sustained that injury, he is not throwing the ball very well.
I don't think it perturbs him very much, Jack, but I think it bothers him some.
That stopped the clock. That remark by Hank Stram stopped the clock with 13:20 left in the first quarter. The ball's at the 34, and it's 3rd down and 8.
The bad problem with a thumb injury, Jack, is that the muscle part of the thumb, the palm part of it, swells, and for that reason, your thumb is farther away from the ball. It's hard to grip it, and you lose the touch that you should have.
Huckleby is in the lineup for Green Bay, 3rd down. And Dickey, who had been sacked 12 times previously this year, gets nailed. That's the 13th sack for Tampa Bay. Scott Brantley got in and picked him off. That's the first sack this year for Brantley, number 52. And it's kicking time for the rookie punter of Green Bay. Bucky Scribner is going to put it away from about his 15.
And he's a left-footed kicker, and a lot of times you have a little problem feeling that kind of a kick that spirals the opposite way.
That's Andre Tyler's problem as he waits back at his 30. Pretty good kick, and he kicked it away from Tyler, who took it on the 30, 35, 40, and out to the 45-yard line. Well, Tampa Bay gets the ball in good shape. They've had a lot of trouble scoring in the first quarter. They have a good opportunity here after that tackle by Larry Rubens. Like to go out of here 0-5. Let's see what they do with Jack Thompson at the controls. Owens and Carver in the backfield with him. And a good Green Bay defense stops the play for only about a yard. Byron Braggs at the left defensive end made the tackle along with Rich Wingo. Let's talk about the offense of Tampa Bay with Thompson at quarterback, Carver and Owens the running backs. The wide receiver are Carter and Kevin House. The tight end is Jimmy Giles, and up front is Revis, Grimes, Wilson, Yarno, and the rookie Kelly Thomas.
People must know that Yarno and Grimes are playing for the injured Farrell. And Snell. Well, either one of the two made the trip.
Nothing doing for James Owens, so Tampa Bay wanted to run the ball, but they've been unable to do so. Let's check Green Bay defensively. Up front, in the nose guard, they have Rich Turner flanked by Braggs and Johnson. That's a little different than it used to be. Good linebackers, Anderson, Wingo, Cumby, and Douglas. And the backfield finds Murphy starting in place of Maurice Harvey at the strong safety spot, or at the free safety spot, after Harvey was put on waivers. There's John McKay. When you talk to him, you don't know whether he's 0-4 or 4-0.
Well, he was in a good mood yesterday, considering the fact that they're 0-4. He still has a lot of confidence in this young team.
First pass by Thompson on 3rd down, and it's through behind. He threw behind the intended receiver. Owens out of the backfield, and now they'll have to punt. Not an auspicious start for either club when you consider, Hank, you work all week on that first series of plays you're going to run.
On that kind of a play, the one that we just saw, the pass in the right flat, you have to make those kind of catches. It was a little bit behind, but to keep drives alive, you must make the catches. He dropped that one. For that reason, they're going to be forced to punt in this situation.
Frank Garcia will kick from about his 35. Mark Lee and Philip Epps are deep. Green Bay hasn't done much with their kick returns. Here comes Epps from the 12, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Nobody's going to get it. There are no flags. It is a touchdown. Hank, I'll say this for the Green Bay crowd, these fans here. As soon as they saw Epps catch the ball and saw a couple of blocks, they knew something was going to happen.
Yeah, they saw the seam open up just like we did, and he's got terrific speed. There was a good block thrown about the 40-yard line, but he took advantage of it, and once he got into the open, it was the bye-bye blows. It was adios. It was all over.
11 out of 11 so far this year for Jan Stenerud. That was an 86-yard punt return by Philip Epps. This score is now 7-0 with 10:59 remaining in the first quarter. I bet you want to watch it again, don't you? A thrilling run by Philip Epps.
I don't know whether we'll see the block here. He makes a good move to the inside, and you see the block on Johnson, number 56. Somebody laid him out, and once he got into the open, school was out. Epps has great speed. 86 yards, touchdown, Green Bay Packers.
Johnny Gray and Mike Jolly make good blocks. Debut back in 1982, and he just ran one back 86 yards. He's out of Texas Christian, and here comes the kickoff from Stenerud. Morton is deep along with Theo Bell. Tampa Bay 0-4 on the year, find themselves trailing. Morton comes up and takes it on the 9. 20, 25, and out to about the 28. Morton returned the ball out to the 28-yard line. Well, in 2 weeks, CBS Sports will be at Belmont Park in New York, bringing you live coverage of the Jockey Club Gold Cup and the Champagne Stakes. Devil's Bag, an undefeated 2-year-old, is being compared to Seattle Slew and others, expected to head the field for the Champagne. Great Colt, a leading contender for Horse of the Year honors after a record-setting performance Wednesday at Belmont Park. October 15th, the date for horse racing on CBS. House in motion, still trying to run the ball. Good only for 3. Rich Turner was the tackler on James Owens.
You know, the defensive line of the Green Bay Packers have gone through an overhauling too. Ezra Johnson, the right defensive end, is the only number 90 is the only remaining letterman coming back, so to speak. And today is his birthday, so we ought to see a lot of fireworks from him this afternoon.
2nd down and 4. Here's a toss to the tailback, Owens. Packer defense was good, led by Douglas and others. Douglas, number 53. Tampa Bay is being very stubborn with their running, aren't they?
Well, they're trying to establish something from a running standpoint. They went to a double tight end offense in this series, trying to control the linebacker. One thing that you have to do when you play Green Bay, you got to have somebody in the face of Douglas, number 53, either a halfback or a tight end on his side, because he blitzes a lot, he pursues a lot. You got to keep him on the line of scrimmage because he's ready murdered. 3rd
down and 6. The extra defensive back is Tim Lewis for Green Bay. Thompson back to throw. Oh, he overthrew him. He tried to get it out to the tight end, Jimmy Giles. He couldn't get up there, and they're going to have to kick again.
You know, I talked to Jimmy Giles last night. He was late, missed all the preseason games, and I asked him last night how much that work, individual work, has impaired his efficiency so far. And he said, you know, there's no way in the world that you can estimate how important it is to be in training camp, because there's just no way you can do the work individually. I'm way behind. I admit to that. I've got a lot of work to do, but he had a great attitude about it and was very eager to do a good job this fall.
Well, Philip Epps will get another chance if Frank Garcia kicks it to him. 9:30 left in the first quarter. Green Bay leading. Oh, what a dandy kick. What a beautiful punt. And it goes over the head of Epps, and it takes a Tampa Bay bounce, and it's going to be down back around the 7 or 8 yard line. Well, Epps underestimated Frank Garcia. He had a little wind at his back, and he really boomed it down there. 60-yard punt.
And he tried out for the Green Bay Packers and was cut. He tried out with some other teams too, but he's really got a great leg. You talk about a thunderfoot, he's got it.
2 tight ends, Lewis and Kaufman, from the 8 yard line of Green Bay. They can't afford any mistakes here. Here comes Gary Ellis. He moved across to about the 12. That was a pretty good run of 4 yards. His first name is Jerry. He calls himself Gary Ellis. He ran into John Cannon and Scott Brantley. thought for a while we're going to have a battle of Missouri running backs, Ellis and Wilder, but Wilder has a cracked rib and hasn't played yet. We may not see him, Hank, and that's a shame.
Yeah, I doubt very much if we'll see him because, you know, the dilemma is really, is he going to play and then he's going to re-injure the ribs and maybe miss 2 or 3 games? He's better off to miss 1 than maybe 3 or 4. I think probably that's the thinking.
2nd down and 6 from the 12. Ivory in motion. There's a pretty good block by Drexler, the left guard, but Ellis could get only a yard or so. Want to see some injuries, folks? Look at this for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, this is crazy. It would be hard to do this if you tried to get guys hurt. Look at Snell, Yuko, Wilder, Farrell, Washington, Posey, Hawkins, and Brown. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, the offensive line has only played a total of 47 seconds together. That's really tough.
3rd down and 5 for Dickey. 3-man rush. Caught for a first down. Ivory is very good at coming out of the backfield and catching the ball as he did that time for a first down before Hugh Green hit him. Number 53. It's a first down for Green Bay.
That was a crossing pattern between the tight end and Ivory. Ivory came over the middle, cleaned out by Kaufman. He's wide open in the middle, and he gets a good shot here by Cecil Johnson, but not until after he makes the necessary yardage for the first down. That's one thing about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're going to catch some balls in front of the linebackers and defensive backs, but you're going to pay the price because they really ding it.
First down at the 23 with Jefferson in motion. First down pass. Screen back to the left and nothing there. He tried to screen it back to Gary Lewis, and Tampa Bay had a defender coming up out of the secondary. Messing it up was Johnny Ray Smith.
Leroy Selman really did a great job, number 63. He got a whiff of the play and went right out in the flat area. You talk about a great play. He did a good job.
I'm glad you picked him up, Hank. I knew somebody was out there. I didn't know who it was.
Yeah, he was the cop on the play. He was out there all by himself and did a great job.
7:17 left in the first quarter. Green Bay leads 7-0 on an 86-yard punt return by Philip Epps. Epps is in the lineup now as a third receiver. And Eddie Lee Ivory comes to the 25. As a result, it is going to be 3rd down and 8.
You know, a lot of people wonder why they call that kind of a play into the line on that kind of a situation. But really what happened, it was a blitz, Jack, and I think any time that you see a blitz, you're going to try to throw it deep, or you try to crack it with a trap and maybe break it right down the middle. Defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers really responded very well to the play.
New England jumps ahead of the 49ers in the first quarter, 6-0. More scores after this play if we can. It's 3rd and 8.
4-man rush.
Clark is going to score. The rookie from Arkansas is going to be caught. There he gets in. Makes it 13-0, a 76-yard pass play, and that was on 3rd down. One of the marks of the Buccaneers, even though they've lost all 4, they have not been burned deep most of the year.
Well, it's very difficult to burn them deep, throw behind people, but that time they threw between the people. There was a big gap. They were in a zone defense, and they hit Clark right down that seam, beyond the linebackers and between the defensive backs. He got behind everybody, and it was all over.
And it's 14-0, and I bet you folks, particularly those who root for Green Bay, want to watch that one again to the rookie out of Arkansas, Jesse Clark.
Jesse Clark's lined up at the fullback spot. It's on the left side of the screen. He comes right down the middle. There you see him coming into the area. It looks like he licks the linebacker and sprints right down the middle and goes all the way for the touchdown.
Johnny Ray Smith missed him right at the end, and it's 14-0 Green Bay. A 76-yard pass play to Jesse Clark. The kickoff from Stenerud is coming down to James Owens or Michael Morton. And Tampa Bay had better get busy. Owens closest to you. Morton number 1 at the top of your screen. passes from the 8, 10, 20. That'll help them a little bit out to the 32. That was the largest touchdown pass ever against Tampa Bay in the history of the team. Harlan Huckabee was the tackler. Let's see what's going on elsewhere. We showed you New England ahead of the 49ers. Minnesota jumps ahead of Dallas in the first quarter, 7-0. Two of the very best teams in football, and the Redskins lead the Raiders in the first quarter, 7-0. And it's Chicago ahead of Denver in the first quarter, 7-0. From the 32, they may have to get out of the running game that they intended to use. They toss it again to Morton. The little guy's in trouble, and he loses about 2 yards. Cincinnati trying to win their second in a row, and they are ahead over Baltimore in the first quarter. George Cumbie made that tackle on Morton, who is 5'8", 180, a little guy out of Nevada, Las Vegas. Hank, when do you get out of the running game that you intended to use at the start of the day?
If you worked all week long, Jack, on the idea that you're going to run the ball and you feel you can't run the ball, you can't abandon it this early in the game. A long time to go. We're still in the first quarter.
Thompson throwing over the middle. And incomplete. Trying to get it to Giles, and Gray was all over his back, and Johnny Gray knocked it down.
The reason Giles did not catch the ball that time was that he did not come back for the ball. He came down and hooked in front of Gray. It did not get any separation from Gray and come back toward the football, and for that reason he was able to knock the ball down.
Well, if the Buccaneers don't get 12 yards on this play, they're going to have to kick for the third time. We have 5:39 left in the first quarter, and Green Bay is leading 14-0.
4 linemen, 5 defensive backs, 2 linebackers.
And the pass is caught for a first down across the 40-yard line. And Theo Bell came away with the ball. He knew where he had to go. That's a first down pass.
Now, the reason he was able to catch this ball is because he did come back for the ball. He came back toward the passer, see him come back for the ball. Had he not done that, he never would have made the catch.
The Tampa Bay 42 and a first down. Thompson in his third start for the Buccaneers. First down pass, swings it out there, and it is caught. That was Carver catching the ball, and Johnny Gray making the tackle. Say this for Carver. He watched that ball come into his hands. He didn't care if he got popped or not.
And he delivered a blow. Usually when you make the catch, you get the shot. He gave a shot. He used those shoulder pads very well on that last play. One thing that I think Tampa Bay has to do, Jack, and sometime early in the game where they're running, they have to run some misdirection plays because they're pursuing very strongly, and they've got to take advantage of that pursuit.
Morton is the tailback. Boy, he got stopped cold.
There you again, you say they're keying on the tailback, and everybody's meeting in the reception committee. They had about 7 green shirts around the ball carrier that time. They have to fake to one of those people and go the other way to take advantage of the over-pursuing defense of the the Green Bay Packers.
Mike Douglas led the way on that one, and it's third down as a result. Third down and 5. Tampa Bay had 3rd and 12 moments ago. They make it 3rd and 4. And the Eagles ahead of Atlanta, 7-0 first quarter. 3rd down and 4. Oh, way off target. Way off target to Gerald Carter, number 87, and this will be the 3rd Tampa Bay punt. Tim Lewis was covered.
Carter was in motion from the right side, came back into the left, went down the field, and broke right back out to where he was initially. It was just a badly thrown ball on the part of the quarterback, Jack Thompson. He was wide open, just threw it over the top.
Now Epps is joined deep by Johnny Gray. Here's the kick from Garcia. Thumped one 60 yards his last time. Another good kick. Going to let it go. Into and out of the end zone. Will come out to the 20-yard line. Well, Green Bay has scored both times. Well, they did have to punt one time. 2 out of 3 times they've scored. A 52-yard kick. Buccaneers since 1978. They have a leg up on it this afternoon.
The one thing that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did not want to do is fall behind early in the game and try to have to play catch-up football all afternoon. They're in a tough position, although right now at this early stage, they're only 2 plays away from getting back in the game.
Huckleby is the tailback. He's good for only a couple of yards going to the left. The last 3 times Tampa Bay has had the ball, what'd they do? Punt, punt, punt. Good thing for them, their punting has been good, except one was returned. 86 yards for a score. Andy Hawkins is back in there now. He didn't start. Put a rush on and made the play a short one of 2 yards. 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Reed is in the backfield. Nothing doing that time as Huckleby carried again. Huckleby has a bad hamstring, but he's playing nonetheless. And now the 49ers go ahead 7-6 against New England, even without Wendell Tyler.
They're going to miss him. Yeah, they're going to miss him because he's really made a great contribution to the running attack. They have never been able to run as well as they have so far this year. But somehow, you know, he's a very resourceful guy, talking about Bill Walsh. And evidently, they're doing a good job this afternoon against New England.
Richard Wood is in there at the inside linebacking spot for the Bucs. 3rd down and 6. If he completes it for a first down out to the 35-yard line. Huckleby, after failing to run well twice, caught the ball for a first down, and Dickey had people hanging all over him.
Yeah, he looked like a Christmas tree that time with ornaments hanging all over him. Logan had a good shot at him, had him in his grasp, really, but in spite of that, Dickey was still able to get rid of the football. A great throw by Dickey, number 12.
First down at the Green Bay 35. That was a 12-yard pickup. Brantley and Hawkins made the tackle. There's a reverse to Lofton. He came out to the 40, and that's good for 5 yards. Andy Hawkins stayed with him and made the tackle. They don't mind running that play 3 or 4 times a game.
Well, he's long-legged, very fast. Good timing on the play. The handoff to the running back. He gives it to Lofton. But the defense, look at the defense. Look at Brantley, number 52, recover. Reedy did a good job, but Hawkins comes in from the inside and makes the play. There's Reedy Hawkins at number 59 who came in and made the play.
And Jeremiah Castile held it up a little bit, allowed Hawkins to get over there. It's 2nd down and 5 from the 40.
You talk about Lofton. He's a very durable guy. Hasn't missed a game in 5 years, Jack.
2nd down. Big first down to the 41 of Tampa Bay.
Here's another delay pattern. He's delays and then comes across the middle. There you see him, wide open. Gets rid of one tackler, comes up the middle, and is finally hit. A 19-yard gain on the play.
Washington and Johnny Ray Smith finally stopped him.
Here again, he's going in front of the linebacker. Makes him miss a tackle. Davis missed the tackle. He goes up the field and is finally tackled by number 22. But not until after he makes another first down on the play. Johnny Ray Smith made the tackle.
First and goal on the pass to Jefferson at the 5 with Johnny Ray Smith covered.
It looked like they were 1-for-1 coverage. 1-for-1 coverage on the play. He had Johnny Ray Smith beaten on the play. Got the ball right up on top beautifully. And another first down for the Green Bay Packers on about the 5-yard line.
He had a lot of time to throw that ball, didn't he?
He did. He sure did. That's a great observation, Jack. He had all the time in the world to throw that time.
That was good for 35 yards to the 5-yard line, and we have no more time left in the first quarter. They're going to go down the other end of the field. Well, Green Bay has the lead, and looks like they're going to tack some more on, and the crowd loves it here. A punt return and a pass play to Clark. 14-0.
And buy light beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer, and less.
Ellis is in the backfield. The ball's at the 5-yard line, and it is first and goal to go. Motion by Kaufman and a pass play. Kaufman is out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Mike Washington, number 40, covering.
Play action fake, actually kind of a rollout to the right, a high percentage kind of a pass to Kaufman. Kaufman did not get deep enough. Had he been just a step deeper, he'd have been able to get in for the touchdown. Mike Washington finally made the tackle. The ball's right about a half a yard from the goal line.
Hank, this season is crazy, isn't it? You don't know what to expect week to week from these teams.
No, you really don't. The emotional aspect of it is so important. You never know what that emotional level is going to be from week to week.
Huckleby is the tailback. That makes it 20-0, doesn't it? With 14:52 left in the half. Huckleby out of Michigan over the top with Jesse Clark, the big guard, the big tailback, fullback really leading the way.
Good surge by the offensive line. Leotis Harris, Cook, McCarron, and he goes right over the top like he's got springs in his shoes. He goes right over the top and into the end zone for the touchdown.
That's his first touchdown of the year. And Stenerud wants to make it 21-0. He hasn't missed an extra point all year. 13 out of 13. Nice and easy. It's 21-0. Tampa Bay has had to punt the ball 3 times, and they need some points. 3 extra points. If he now gets 3 more points, he'll move up on the list to the second all-time leading scorer in the history of the National Football League. He'll move ahead of Jim Turner, and he'll be behind George Fleming.
He's very excited about that, too. Talking to him the other day, why he feels very good about the way he's kicking. He's in great shape. I think what he'd like to do, too, Jack, I think he'd like for him to tighten the immigration laws so no other foreign kickers can come in. He'll kick for another 10 years.
Morton is deep, along with Owens. Owens take this on the 4. 20. Good return. Let's check John McKay's countenance now. See how he feels. It's 21-0. Arlen Huckleby made that tackle.
You know, John has to be very frustrated. I did all the Tampa Bay Buccaneer preseason games. They were 4-0. He felt very good about the progress and development of his team. He thought they were going to be a very good team in 1983. They've had so many injuries. A lot of bad things happened to them. They haven't been able to win the close games. And, boy, when you don't win the close games, it's really tough.
From the 33. Boy, did he catch that ball across midfield? He certainly did. That was Carter. In heavy traffic with a big hit, and Thompson went down as he threw it.
Watch him play action fake and watch him get hit right about the time he throws the football. Whop right in there, but he gets the ball on the target in spite of that. Right in between 3 defensive guys, and he still made the catch. Great catch by Carter.
Good for 18 yards and a first down at the Green Bay 47. Morton trying to get outside. He's inside the 45, and he got 4 yards.
That's the misdirection play we were talking about earlier, Jack. You have to slow down the defense some way. That time they faked inside, a counter step to the tailback. He went to the opposite direction, and at least to slow down the pursuit a little bit. And this is the first time really they made any yardage at all, so to speak. He picked up about 4 yards on the play.
Ezra Johnson and George Cumbie were the tacklers. We'll give you some scores of other games here in a moment. 13 and a half minutes left in the half. Green Bay leading 21-0. Braggs met him head on, and nothing doing on that play. Ezra Johnson got over there and helped also. The Eagles widened it out in the first quarter, 14-0 over Atlanta. Dallas is on the board, still trailing 7-3 against the Vikings in the first. That score we showed you a while ago. Now they're in the second quarter with the 49ers leading the Patriots 7-6. And Washington in the first quarter hangs on to their lead over the Raiders 7-0. 3 wide receivers for Tampa Bay, including Andre Tyler. The pass is incomplete, and a flag has been thrown. They haven't had many flags today.
You know, anytime you see one in that area, it looks like it could be holding on the part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It looks like there's another penalty, possibly against Green Bay. Let's see what they call.
That's the first penalty flag of the day. Tom Dooley, the referee. So we have holding against Tampa Bay and interference against Green Bay. They'll play it over.
Holding, 68 offense, pass interference, 53 defense. The penalty's offset. We replay.
Douglas was the one who interfered. Didn't you? Didn't you, Mike? Raise your hand up. Ought to have them do it like they do in basketball. So another chance for Tampa Bay. They get another 3rd and 7 play. 3 wide receivers.
Well, the middle looks open.
I guess they were all faded downfield, and Rich Turner was the first to get to him. They had only 4 sacks coming into this game, but they nailed Jack Thompson here.
Turner, number 75, gets off the mark in good shape. And then, of course, 79, Ron Spears is also making an inside move, putting pressure. Ezra Johnson coming into the picture, and they finally put him in the vise and sack him on the play.
Rich Turner gets the credit for it. Here's Garcia. He's been busy. Fair catch is called for and taken by Epps on the 10-yard line. So Green Bay gets it. That's the 4th punt by Tampa Bay today, and that alone tells you what's been happening. 12:07 left in the half. A tough week after that Monday night game. They had to stay in New York because of the weather, and they had a busy week getting ready for this one.
They also had a tough decision to make with regard to Mo Harvey, who he cut from the squad for disciplinary reasons, attitude, and that was a tough thing to do, too.
Well, that looked like an easy 5 yards for Eddie Lee Ivory. Out to the 15. Hank, up front, Tampa Bay should still be all right with Cannon, Logan, and Leroy Selman, and their 4 good linebackers.
Overall, they've played very well defensively, Jack, but you can't keep your defensive team on the field as much as they have in the first 4 games and not have make it pay its toll, and I think really that's really been the problem. They haven't. They've given up yardage grudgingly. They haven't given up a lot of points up until today, but the big plays have really hurt them so far this game.
But, of course, their team hasn't been scoring. It's 2nd down and 5. They're not sitting on it. And the pass is intercepted. Racing with the ball is Hugh Green, and he's over for a touchdown. Did he get in?
He did. It looked like.
Touchdown. Hugh Green was very aggressive, intercepted the ball. It was 2nd down and 5. Green Bay leading 21-0, and the interception.
Watch the way he just literally takes the ball away from the receiver, 53. Watch him going back in the coverage. There he is. Just takes the ball away from the receiver and straight arms one would-be tackler. Gives a shoulder to another one.
That was Dickey.
That was Dickey, and he goes in for the touchdown. Boy, a fantastic play by Hugh Green, number 53.
His first interception of the year. The 5th of the year for Tampa Bay. I was just going to mention that Tampa Bay has now gone 17 games without scoring a touchdown in the first quarter. 17 quarters. Here's the extra point, and it is good. Did I say that right, Hank? 16 games they haven't scored in the first quarter of getting a touchdown.
One of my bigger days.
Hugh Green, his 2nd career touchdown. What a superb effort. How in the world did he catch that ball?
He overpowered Jefferson is all he did. They were trying to get the ball to Jefferson, and he just went right through and made the interception. It was a great physical feat on a part of Hugh Green.
Over to get the ball is Gray. He's back across the 20-yard line and down at about the Green Bay 26-yard line. They put the ball down at the 25. Downfield, Booker Reese to make the Buccaneer tackle. We have some action next Saturday here on CBS. NCAA action. Alabama's 4-0 after winning yesterday. Ray Perkins' first year, and we'll see if Penn State can rise to that occasion. Starts at 3:30 Eastern next Saturday on CBS TV. of the NCAA today. Big play to Gary Lewis. Well, they didn't get timid even though they were intercepted the last time.
He was uncovered. They faked inside to hold the linebacker and throw right over the top of the linebacker, right down the seam. A beautiful shot. Gary Lewis makes the catch behind the linebacker and between the defensive backs. Opened up beautiful. But he was uncovered, got a free release from the line of scrimmage, and when that happens, boy, you're in trouble if he gets the ball there properly.
10.5 minutes left in the half. That was good for a 34-yard pass play, and Mike Washington made the tackle. They're at the Buccaneer 40. That's amazing, folks. You just saw an amazing catch by J.J. Jefferson. I mean, with Jeremiah Castile and others there, he caught it at the 21.
That was amazing, but also the release by Dickey was amazing. He had a run to his left with guys chasing him, threw it back across the grain, a fantastic catch by Jefferson, and finally Castile made the tackle. But Jefferson really made a leaping, sensational catch on the thrown ball.
To the Tampa Bay 21. Hutchinson didn't like those transpirings last Monday. He said the guys quit a little too quickly. He made a play. Now he's in motion. Here goes Ellis. He's going to throw it.
Touchdown.
And Kaufman carried down to the 1-yard line. A halfback pass from Ellis to Paul Kaufman. First and goal from the 1.
And Tampa has a blitz on, and Kaufman popped through there right behind everybody like he ran right out of the bleachers, made the catch, but in the process of trying to get upfield, stumbled and fell. Hawkins was in hot pursuit. Finally downs him right about the 1-yard line. Green Bay again with great field position on the 1.
First and goal with 8:45 left in the half. 21-7, Green Bay leading. Fake to Ivory. Now Kaufman didn't get in for the 1, but he got in on the pass. They're just chewing it up here, Hank.
Well, they really are. I've seen the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play a lot of games, but I've never seen their defense dominated like they have been so far in this game.
You have to admire the approach of Green Bay. They got out in front, 21-0. They threw the ball. It was intercepted. They came right back and started to throw again and walked right down the field.
Well, they've been on the attack. They've been trying to make something happen. They've had a great week of work. Talking to the players this week, they said they've had a very tough week of work, but that's what they needed, and evidently it paid off.
And the extra point is good, and now we have a 28-7 score. A flag has been thrown, but the extra point counts nonetheless. Here's Paul Kaufman.
Here we see play action fake to the right, faking to the left halfback. Dickey, number 12, fakes to the halfback, Ivory, and throws right over the top. Touchdown, Kaufman.
Hawkins got a hand up, couldn't quite get it.
I didn't kill anybody.
Is Hillary guilty?
Did you know Jeremy Novak? Were you sleeping with him?
Emerald Point, the saga continues.
8:39 left in the half. Green Bay leading 28-7, kicking off from the 40-yard line. Stenerud will kick it. Michael Morton and James Owens are deep. Over the end line, kicking off from the 40. Stenerud knocked it into and out of the end zone. Well, next Sunday, you'll see either the Green Bay at Detroit game, those of you in the Green Bay network, that's the first half of a doubleheader. And the others will see Minnesota at Chicago, that's at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And then all of you folks in the second half of the doubleheader will see Tampa Bay at Dallas. You want to check your local listing. Tampa Bay had better play better against Dallas than they're playing here today.
They better start playing better right now, or else they're going to get blown right out of town.
On the of the backfield. Melvin Carver catching the ball. Good for 7 yards. Tackled by John Anderson, number 59. One of the big things they miss about James Wilder, and he has a cracked rib, not only his running, but his prolific pass catching.
Yeah, he's really one of the finest backs as far as receiving is concerned in the league. Came into this game with 24 catches. So it's a very important part of their passing attack.
49ers add to their lead 14-6 over New England in the second quarter. Morton stretched out. Let's see what kind of forward progress they give him. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Tackled by Ezra Johnson. And it is Cincinnati ahead of Baltimore in a freewheeling game, 17-14, second quarter.
Ross Browner, who was suspended for 4 games, is back for the first time and playing, and I'm sure he's going to make a big difference in that defense of the Cincinnati Bengals.
7:55 left in the half. 3rd and 1 for Tampa Bay at their 29. First down, and a flag goes down. First down run with Owens carrying the ball, but then the flag came down. Ezra Johnson made the tackle.
When the umpire throws a flag like that, it's usually holding on the offense. Let's see what they call.
You got it. So instead of 3rd and 1, it'll be 3rd and 11. Well, that hurts. 3rd and 11. That stops the clock with 7:43 left in the half.
Coming into the game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came in with 25 penalties. The Green Bay Packers with 22.
Thompson is 4 out of 8.
Holding, number 50, offense, 3rd down.
3rd down and 11. The Eagles over Atlanta, 14-0 second quarter. Minnesota, 14-3 over Dallas in the second quarter. Extra back defensively for Green Bay is Tim Lewis. And a big reception across the 35 for a first down. Catching the ball was Kevin House. He took a big hit from Mark Murphy.
Jack Thompson got rid of that ball nicely too, Jack. He got a little pressure on him again. He very rarely sits back there and has a chance to step and throw without somebody giving him a shot. Right about the time he got rid of the ball, he got a hit again, but he got the ball right on the numbers to Kevin House, who made a great catch.
First down at the Bucs 37. More big yards on the pass play to Theo Bell. He and Bell really communicated well there.
They did, and the defensive back was in buff and run and containing him pretty well. Jack Thompson gave him the wave to get upfield, which he did, and deliver the ball with a nice touch that time, and they pick up another nice gain in the play.
They made it over Mike McCoy. 7 minutes left in the half. The score is 28-7 in favor of Green Bay, and Tampa Bay would like to score on this drive. Pretty good faking. That's a fumble. Green Bay has it. Running with it, and Mike Douglas. Touchdown. Douglas stripped it away, picked it up, and scored.
That's exactly what it was. It was not a forward pass. It was the fumble. Mike Douglas picks it up and goes all the way for the touchdown. He was blitzing on the play from the right side.
And Stenerud will try his 5th extra point. Happening here with machine gun-like rapidity. Scribner holding the ball. Good, 35-7. Let's watch that play again in the action of Mike Douglas, the linebacker out of San Diego State.
Douglas is coming in from the right side. It's a play-action fake, and his back is to the linebacker. Watch it. Now he goes to the right side, and behind comes Douglas. He knocks the ball loose and jumps up, catches the ball on the first bounce, and goes all the way for the touchdown. You talk about a great play. Normally the blitzer will knock the quarterback down, but he won't come up and make the play. He got the ball too and made the touchdown.
It's Green Bay in tackles, and he just got one across the goal line. He had a sack, a fumble recovery, and a touchdown.
I talked to him yesterday at practice, and he was all excited. He said, boy, we've had a great week of work. We've worked harder than we've worked in training camp, and it's going to pay off. And obviously it has so far.
Owens takes it 3 yards deep and tries it. And did not get to the 15-yard line. Mark Murphy was downfield, number 37, to make the hit. And now for an update. Let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Jack, the Dallas Cowboys are in a hole for the 5th straight time this season. Here is Steve Dills again going to Sammy White, and I mean he's open. It is now 14-3 Vikings. Let's go back to Jack and Hank.
Okay, Brent, look at our score here with 6:38 left in the half. 35-7 Green Bay, and Tampa Bay starts at the 14. Look out! There he is again. Douglas was after Jack Thompson. The fans think it should be intentional grounding. It was incomplete.
Douglas almost made the same kind of a play, Jack. He came through free. Nobody touched him. Number 53, Mike Douglas.
He got a little vendetta going for Jack Thompson. He was really after him. Somebody better start picking him up.
They better put a big net back there with one of those backs to slow him down a little bit, or a lasso, because they haven't done much of a job on him so far.
2nd down and 10 from the 14. Miles the taut end, got it for modest yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 5. Tackled by George Cumby. And elsewhere, Washington extends their lead 10-0, 2nd quarter over the Raiders. Raiders undefeated. And the Bears handling Denver 21-0 in the 2nd quarter. Cincinnati hangs on by 3 over Baltimore, 2nd period. And a low-scoring game in the 2nd quarter, Seattle and Cleveland. And Pittsburgh ahead of Houston in the 2nd quarter, 7-0. 3rd down and 5. That's a 1st down, with Kevin House running with the ball. Tim Lewis, the extra back, made the tackle. House out to the 25.
There's a good picture of Boyd Dollar with the glasses. He was a great receiver for the Green Bay Packers, and he's the offensive play caller for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
He was a big target for Bart Starr. 1st down from the 25. You have a little fellow like Morton back there blocking for you. He's not going to help you very much.
Well, that play, Jack, number one, see, when your pass protection breaks down like it has here this afternoon, the quarterback gets to be a little bit impatient with his faking. That time there was a play-action fake, and he made no fake whatsoever to the tailback. And as a result, if you're not going to fake to the tailback, you might as well just go back in the pocket and throw the ball. Nobody took the bait of the fake at all. They got penetration and stuffed the play. That's what happened. It was just a bad fake. Just a bad fake.
That was the 3rd time they've sacked Thompson. And it's 2nd down and 17. Linebacker Anderson with a touchdown. This is murderous. Let's watch it again. John Anderson walked in and picked it off.
59, watch him. Here he is, right in front of Carter. Carter makes the interception, goes in for the touchdown, unmolested for the touchdown. Another 6 points for the Green Bay Packers, but they're trying to hit Carter underneath. Number 87, and he stepped right out in front. read the quarterback and sucked it right up.
Well, this extra point will put Jan Stenerud on the list as the second all-time leading scorer in the National Football League. That was a 27-yard run by John Anderson out of Michigan. Here's Stenerud. Boy, what a spot in history. Look at the grin on his face.
Yeah, he's all smiles, and justifiably so. He's really one of the great kickers in the history of the National Football League. We go back a long time, way back to 1967.
He gets a standing ovation here from the crowd as they make the announcement. You have to get goosebumps.
I'm just going to say, I got them all over. Really, it's a thrill for me to see this happen to Jan Stenerud, one of the great kickers in the history of the National Football League. And really, what a sensational guy he is along with it. A fantastic guy to coach, and he deserves everything that he's earned to achieve in all these years. Really great.
This is his 17th year in the league out of Montana State. Well, Morton is deep, along with Owens. As they say at the mill, keep grinding. That's all the Buccaneers can do, but they're in big trouble. Owens took it on the goal line. He's out to about the 16-yard line. Let's watch where Stenerud fits in NFL history. You think he'll ever catch George Blanda?
Boy, that's really that George Blanda. Isn't that some record he's got?
And Jim Turner was just passed by Jan Stenerud. Harlan Huckabee made the tackle downfield, and that's one of the big stories today. Jan Stenerud, and he can't stop grinning. Can you, Jan? I don't blame you. Meanwhile, you folks in Tampa Bay watching this game along the sun coast of Florida have to be distressed about what's going on from the 15-yard line. Goldstein is in at the quarterback spot, and Mike Douglas almost got another. That guy's all over the place. This is Jerry Goldstein. He started the first game.
And that's, people ask, well, why do you run the ball in this situation? Why don't you just throw all the time? And there's a great illustration of what happens when you have to throw. They don't worry about the run whatsoever. They all go back to their deep zones and play pass coverage. And boy, you have to be a magician to get that ball through those passing lanes when they're all expecting you to throw the ball consistently all the time.
And then they dropped the ball. Well, that would have been about 9 yards. And coming out and dropping the ball was Jim Obradovich, the tight end. He started the first game for Tampa Bay, but then Jack Thompson took over. This was Thompson's third start. Now he's been lifted. And Obradovich dropped the ball with McCoy covering. Goldstein has completed 57% of his passes. No interceptions, 1 touchdown. Here are his career stats. 6 defensive backs for Green Bay. First down for Tampa Bay. On the catch by Jimmy Giles. Covered by John Anderson. So Goldstein completes his first. Green Bay probably doesn't want the ball anymore, Hank. They lead 42-7.
They'd like to have had some of those points last week.
They got
say earlier this week, Monday night.
They got only a field goal, and here tonight, here this afternoon, 6 touchdowns. And now Minnesota 14 ahead of Dallas in the second quarter, 17-3. He overthrew that one by a mile. Well over the head of Obradovich, stopping the clock with 3:26 left in the half. Now with Pete Johnson back, and Ross Browner, Cincinnati 10 points ahead of Baltimore in the second quarter. Johnson actually not available to play, but Browner is. That makes a difference.
Yeah, it really does. And Johnson, I saw the other day, they said he weighed 272. Can you believe that?
3:26 left in the half. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Incomplete and almost picked off on Mark Lee, number 22. When they know you're going to throw, Hank, it's tough to get things done. They have 6 backs back there. Trying to get it to Melvin Carter.
You know, and the worst thing about it is that it's tough on your pass protection, too, because those linemen flap those ears back, and they really come after you. And it's very tough. And so you have to run some draws, you have to run some screens, and you have to run some just to keep those people honest. You just can't throw.
3rd down. Incomplete. It would have been a 1st down had the receiver, Carter, been able to hang on, but it's time for Tampa Bay to punt again. And remember, the only points that the Buccaneers have been on the interception and the touchdown run by Hugh Green. Back to get it is Philip Epps. He started all of this with a punt return for a touchdown, 86 yards. Epps is back waiting at his 30.
I think that punt return, Jack, really stunned them so much that they never have been the same since.
Garcia kicks it. He's been doing a dandy job. That's well covered. And a fair catch called for near the 40-yard line by Philip Epps. We have 3:08 left in the half. That was only a 36-yard punt. Brent and Irv will be along with us. Brent Musburger, Irv Cross at halftime. They have a wonderful feature. Agony and ecstasy. It has to do with overtime play. I don't think we'll have overtime here today.
If we do, we'll have to look for a star in the East, Jack.
Well, Green Bay has the ball at their 39. They've been throwing, scoring. Motion by Jefferson. Dickey to Ellis. Ellis comes out near the 43-yard line. 3 minutes left in the half.
The defense pursued very well that time on a sweep, going to the outside. Cannon came all the way over there to help make a play.
Along with David Logan and Andy Hawkins. 42-7. They scored in every fashion imaginable. They've run it in. They've thrown for touchdowns.
Yeah, you name it, they did it.
Punt returns, fumble recoveries, touchdowns, interceptions, touchdowns. Big hitting by Tampa Bay. They still can be formidable up front. That'll make it 3rd down. Huckleby ran with the ball, and Leroy Selman stopped him cold.
Fans are booing. They want more points. They want him to throw the ball, and they're going to blow up the scoreboard.
That will take us down to the 2-minute warning. And with 2 minutes left in the half, Green Bay will be enjoying a 35-point lead. So we've reached the 2-minute mark, and was brought to you by the National Football League. Green Bay has the ball at their own 43, 3rd down and 6. 2 minutes left in the half. Green Bay leading 42-7. Trying to hang on to the ball. Dickey passes. Don't tell me. He gets his 5th touchdown of the year. That was a 57-yard pass play. 57 yards to James Lofton, and they're having a good old time here. And here comes Stenerud again. And it's good again. Let's watch the replay, which has made the score 49-7. It was 3rd down. They're not trying to rub it in. They're just trying to keep the ball.
57-yard touchdown pass to Lofton. Look at this. Coming across the middle on a crossing pattern. Goes all the way across the far side of the field. There's a good block downfield
By Jefferson.
by Jefferson, 83, and he goes all the way in for the touchdown. Boy, it's a long way to go to make a touchdown when you go from the right side of the field all the way over to the left. Look, he gets a free release. Nobody touches him. Hawkins lets him get by him to the inside. He makes the catch right on the run. There you see him making a move to the inside. Jefferson throws a block just good enough to keep the defender from making the play upfield, and he goes all the way in for the touchdown.
The score, there's a close-up look at James Lofton. He's in business up here and in Milwaukee as well as playing football. The score was only 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, but look at it now. This is the most points ever, 49-7, ever in the first half of a football game in the National Football League history. Running with the ball was one of the up men for the Buccaneers, Danny Spradlin, the linebacker. And the Green Bay defense will have a chance to do a little more work as Stenerud comes off.
You know, we're talking about Lofton. You know, people don't realize how fast he is. He ran a 9.600 in the Superstars with tennis shoes. That's really moving, isn't it?
I'll say. The ball comes to the Tampa Bay 38 with 1:44 left in the half. Goldstein. Giles, first down. Down to the Green Bay 45. Hurry up offense for the Bucs. Wingo made the tackle.
Green Bay has thrown for 300 yards so far in the first half, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 83.
First down pass. Boy, he had good zip on that one. Down to the 33-yard line.
You know why he had good zip on it, Jack? That was one of the few times that he's had a chance to step up into the pocket and throw the ball without being harassed by the defensive line of the Green Bay Packers. Watch his footwork here. Watch. Watch. He goes back into the pocket, and he steps and throws nicely. All the room in the world to follow through, and that makes all the difference in the world.
Theo Bell caught the ball for a first down, and then a penalty flag was thrown. They're going to mark it back. Back to midfield.
Illegal motion. 88 offense. First down.
Jimmy Giles was in motion. There's Giles, the guilty party. 1:17 left in the half. Total yards at this point, 3-1. The score, 49-7. Ever seen a game like this, Hank?
I can't remember seeing one like this. No, I really haven't. We've been involved in a lot of crazy games. We went up to Buffalo one year, and they scored. They needed those little tickers to keep score. They were getting points so fast. But I think they made about 26 in a hurry, but I've never seen one like this.
First and 15. Over the head of Giles. Covering was Douglas. There's the time left, 1:13 remaining in a half.
We might see another holding penalty.
Haven't been many flags, but you could almost expect that to happen, Hank, with the offensive line of Tampa Bay trying to keep them out.
Yeah, then you have to throw, and pass block, or you're going to get called for holding.
Back to the 40.
Holding. Number 50. Offense. First down.
The only way Green Bay hasn't scored is on a safety, John, and it may happen to you if you keep getting penalties.
Most frustrating time in the world is in a game like this when there's John McKay trying to figure out what the world is going on. And the helpless thing, the most helpless thing about it is, you know, you just can't do anything about it.
Barry Goldstein, the quarterback. Screens it. Running with the ball is Carver. And he came to midfield, and so it'll be 2nd and 15. Takes us down to a minute left in the half. Timeout is called by the visiting Buccaneers. And at halftime, we'll be joining Brent Musburger and Irv Cross. Enough scores of other games for you, highlights, and that feature with regard to overtime in the National Football League. You had some tough overtime games. You won some and lost some, huh?
Yeah, we'll never forget that Christmas Day game against the Miami Dolphins. We missed a field goal the last play of the game. Took it into overtime. Then we had 2 other times a chance to make kicks and we blew them. And so we'll never forget those.
John McKay, he is 0-4 and on his way to 0-5. I know you're always the optimist. You say only 2 or 3 plays you got back in the game, but you'd have trouble saying that here.
Well, you know what you have to do now. I'm just trying to anticipate the job that John and his coaching staff is going to have at halftime. There's still 30 minutes of football, and somehow, some way, you got to sell your team on the idea they can come back and do something to get back into this game.
And they've got a tough game next Sunday.
Yeah, they have Dallas, but they can't worry about Dallas next week. They got to worry about the second half of this game. And one of the things you have to sell them on the idea is the fact that the Green Bay Packers, they scored 49 points in the first half. Why can't we do it in the second half? You got to sell them on something that they can hang their head on. It's tough, but you got to sell them on something.
That's incomplete. It was thrown a bit behind Giles.
See, but
if I was on your team and you told me that at halftime, I'd laugh and you'd kick me right. You'd kick me right off the team.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't laugh. Not if you were playing. You don't know what it is to be in a locker room, Jack. You wouldn't laugh. I guarantee it.
Yeah, but I've been in the classroom. Don't put me down.
Well, no, but I mean, yeah.
3rd down and 15. No, I'm just kidding, Hank. But it's a nasty spot to find
It is.
yourself.
There's no question about it. But you can't throw in the towel. It's not like a fight. You can't throw the towel in and quit. You still got to play.
3rd and 15, and that is incomplete. Heavy defensive play by Tim Lewis on Carter, the wide receiver, number 87, and it's 4th down. That stops the clock with 50 seconds left in the half.
What was the game, Jack, that you did in Denver years ago? Where the owner left the game and they were ahead by 35. And
33 to nothing.
When he got to Dallas, he lost the game.
33 to nothing at the half. Buffalo is ahead, and Denver came back and tied him in the second half. Epps grabs the ball at the 10. And he is out of bounds at the 28-yard line, stopping the clock with 39 seconds left in the half. A 40-yard punt. Jeff Davis forced him out of bounds. You know, Hank, one subject we ought to cover here, Tampa Bay, with all of these injuries, what would they be doing if they only had a roster of 45 people rather than 49?
That's a good point. A lot of people were fighting to keep the roster at 45 instead of 49. It really would have been tough for not only this team, but a lot of teams.
Tampa Bay has only 1 timeout remaining. Huckabee runs the ball. And it looks like we're going to have our halftime score of 49-7. Leroy Selman made the tackle.
And you have to give a lot of credit, talking about the 49 roster, to Mr. Coverhouse, who was really crusading for the extra 4 players. And I think he, along with a lot of other owners, did a good job of making it happen.
Yes, he said that really that's the first time he ever politicked in the National Football League. He wanted the roster at 49. Well, Green Bay is not obligated to snap the ball, so our halftime score, believe it or not, is 49-7 in favor of Green Bay, and these hometown fans loved every moment of it. It was only 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. And look what happened in the second period. 5 touchdowns. We're back here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. There's been all sorts of scoring. First, a punt return, 86 yards by Philip Epps. And then the 76-yard pass play from Dickey to the rookie Jesse Clark. It was 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, and then things blew open. Here are the first half stats, and look at the total yards. 320 to 110. 2 Tampa Bay turnovers, a fumble and an interception. Both resulted in immediate touchdowns in those plays. Yards rushing. Tampa Bay wanted to come in here running the football, and they have only 12 yards on the ground. So what this gentleman wanted to do isn't happening.
No, it hasn't happened at all. And John, I think coming into the game, felt they had to run the ball to win. The Green Bay Packers felt they had to throw the ball to win, and that their plan has succeeded extremely well in the first half. And John is bewildered by what has happened. But again, as we mentioned earlier, that team still has to play 30 minutes of football. It's a tough assignment for the whole team and the coaching staff, but they still have to play hard and do everything they possibly can to get back in this game. I know it looks like it's hopeless, but again, 6 plays, Jack. 6 times 7 is 42. They already got 7. That's 49. But that's the realistic approach you can take.
Rather than Stenerud, Eddie Garcia out of SMU, and Green Bay does carry 2 place kickers. Will be kicking off. Deep we have Michael Morton and James Owens. Owens at the top of your screen. The score 49-7, and we'll check a little bit of the character of the Buccaneers here in the second half. It's tough. They're 0-4 and losing big here. And Garcia knocks it out of the end zone. In a couple of weeks, on the 15th of October, and from Belmont Park, some wonderful horse racing, the Jockey Club Gold Cup and the Champagne Stakes. You'll see them both. 2 very special races Saturday, October 15th, here on CBS Sports. Ball will come out to the 20-yard line.
You know, they have to forget about the 49 points, Jack. I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They just got to come out and follow some kind of an orderly process and try to get back into the game. And they cannot just throw. They're never going to get it back that way. They got to infuse some draws and screens and high percentage passes.
Wilson throws out here, and it is caught by Jerry Bell, the tight end, number 82, for a few yards, and George Cumbie made the tackle. And Maurice Harvey was waived from this club, and Mark Murphy, number 37, is in his spot at the free safety spot.
And he's doing a good job. He's a 3-year pro from West Liberty. A free agent in 1980.
The first down play is incomplete, trying to get it to Obradovich. Line of scrimmage is the Tampa Bay 32. Second down and 10 coming up. Jack Thompson started, and then Goldstein replaced him. Thompson, while he was in there, was 8 out of 13. He had 1 intercepted, and he was sacked 3 times.
I think the other thing they have to do, Jack, I think they have to get the ball down the field deeper in that 20-25-yard area, and they're playing zone defenses, and the short stuff is going to be tough to get.
Good blocking up front. But Anderson got a hand on the ball, which was intended once more for Jerry Bell, number 82. John Anderson, he scored a touchdown here today on an interception and a run. Knocked it down.
I'd rather throw 3 long passes and get 15 or 20 or 25 yards on those passes than try to throw 10-yard shots down the field, because with that kind of a situation, you're going to make some kind of mistake and probably won't get it done. You have more of a chance getting the ball downfield in the scenes between the linebackers and the defensive backs.
That pass took off, and the receiver Carver was knocked down, but that man was knocked down behind the line of scrimmage by Wingo, so there's no interference, and it's 4th down in time for Frank Garcia to punt.
See that what they're doing, Jack, they're rushing 3 people and playing 5 people in the intermediate areas and 2 deep, and so it's hard to throw the ball short because they got all the areas faded with defensive people, 3 linebackers and 2 defensive backs.
Garcia from Arizona kicking to Philip Epps. He started this avalanche. A high kick. Epps is going to return it from the 26. Came out to about the 32-yard line, and the flag goes down. We played a minute of the second half. Tom Dooley is the referee. Danny Spradlin downfield for the Bucs to make the tackle. And a holding call against Green Bay, so they'll start from a little deeper, but it doesn't matter where they start. They always end up in the end zone. That was a 42-yard punt, and then the penalty.
Holding, 62 on the receiving team. First down.
So they mark the ball down at the 22. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. Green Bay gets the ball for the first time. Dickey, quarterback from the Green Bay 22-yard line. He has Ellis and Ivory in the backfield with him. Ivory slides right, finds a hole, comes out for about 8 or 9, well, about 8 yards on the play. This is a unique scene here in Green Bay. They have a capacity crowd of 56,000 here, a very small city, and a community-owned football team.
And they love their Packers. They know everything about what's happening. They come out to practice whenever they can. They're very involved in every incident that occurs with a football team. It's been that way since the history of the Green Bay Packers. All the stockholders involved, and they love this team. And it's more like a collegiate atmosphere than it is a pro atmosphere, Jack. Really.
Bart Starr said he'd rather be nowhere else. 2nd down and 2. Not that time. A big hit was made by Brad White, and it'll be 3rd down. Brad White, a number 12 draft choice out of Tennessee. Other clubs are not constituted the same way the Packers are. They usually have an individual owner or a small group of owners. Everything revolves around the football team in Green Bay.
Well, the stockholders in the city make up the personality of the ownership of this team, Jack. And so for that reason, there's a lot of people involved. And they have something at stake other than the emotional aspect of it. They got a financial stake in it, and that's why they're so excited.
Here's the pass out to Ivory, and he dropped the ball. It was a forward pass. It's incomplete, and the Packers will punt.
You know, I'm really kind of surprised that Ivory's still in the game, Jack, and I'm a little bit surprised if we see Dickey much more.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think with a score like it is, 49-7, I would think probably that Bart Starr is thinking seriously about letting somebody else play quarterback, Whitehurst or Rich Campbell.
Andre Tyler back to get the punt, stands inside his 30. The Campbell said he doesn't like it much. He doesn't get to play at all. This would be a good spot for him. Scribner, the left-footed kicker, drives it downfield, and Tyler takes it at the 28. He's out across the 35-yard line, and there goes a flag. A 44-yard punt by Scribner, number 13. And the tackle by Jim Laughlin, the linebacker of Green Bay. And a penalty coming up after the kick was returned out to the 37. Some yards will be marked off against Tampa Bay for an illegal block. 12:23 left in the 3rd quarter. So instead of having quite good operating room from the 33, they'll put the ball down where, Tom? At the 27.
Illegal use of hands. Tampa Bay, the receiving team. 1st down.
Now Tampa Bay gets the ball for the 2nd time in the 2nd half. Slady's husband has a touchdown. James with a 57-yard touchdown pass, and the Loftons are expecting for the first time February 8th. They hope to go to the Super Bowl and then come home and have the baby. That'd be a nice scenario.
And happiness would be in the air.
It is 1st down at the 27. Carver gets good yards, and then he is knocked out of bounds by Mark Lee, the cornerback, and John Anderson, the linebacker, at the 35, a pickup of 8.
You know, in this kind of a game, you talk about the team that's losing, but I think you have to consider also the team that's winning. What process should you follow? I think really with a score like it is, 49-7, I think as many young people as you can get in the ball game, the more apt you are to maintain a good emotional level and keep a good tempo as far as your own team is concerned.
Yeah, make practice more enjoyable the next week when those other fellas have played some. Carver carried the ball. Anderson made the tackle, and it's apparently short of a 1st down. It'll be 3rd and short coming up. Hank, I know you like Jack Thompson, who started this game. This is Jerry Goldstein. You have any opinion of him out of Northern Illinois?
Doing their games in preseason, both quarterbacks were very impressive. In fact, when I left, I thought sure that probably Jack Thompson would start the first game of the season, but Goldstein was so impressive in the last game against New England that Coach McKay started him. But I think both quarterbacks are capable of doing a good job. I really do. I know it's very obvious that they missed Doug Williams. You can't evade that issue. You know, he's gone, and he did a good job for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have to miss him some, but you can't do anything about that now. That's ancient history. They got to worry about the quarterbacks they have, and I really and truly think that once they get their offensive line back and things put into place, the quarterbacks will do a good job.
There was a fumble on the play by Carver, and it was recovered by Green Bay. So another Tampa Bay mistake. Let's watch it again. Takes a long time to... Now the official indicated it the wrong way then. He said the ball belonged to Green Bay. He was wrong. That was third down. This is fourth down, and here's the punt coming up by Frank Garcia. Hugh Epps. And a Green Bay bounce.
Oh, who hit that?
Now it is touched by Tampa Bay. Well, Green Bay gets the ball back. They punted the last time they had it. We've gone through 3 minutes of the third quarter. Is on defense for Tampa Bay as David Whitehurst takes over from the Green Bay 37-yard line. He's going right to the air, swings it out here to Ellis. Ellis got about a yard before he is chased out of bounds by Thomas Morris, who's playing the corner, and Hugh Green. Tampa Bay has one of your favorites in there, Hank Hassan Abubakar. The rookie out of Texas Tech, number 69, is in there playing defense.
He was a kickboxer and went to Pasadena Junior College. Had a record of 12-1, drafted 9 in 1983 from Texas Tech, 6'4", 250, and they like him. They think he's a good pass rusher.
Hassan Abubakar. Only a gain of a yard on that pass play. Whitehurst is rushed, and he throws, and it's complete out to midfield. Jefferson caught the ball. Covering on the play was Johnny Ray Smith. Whitehurst did a good job of delivering the ball.
It's a miracle he got rid of the ball like he did, and it's a miracle that Jefferson was able to catch the ball. It was a blitz. Johnson was blitzing from the outside, and the defensive back, Smith, just overran the play, and the ball was thrown behind, and Jefferson came up with the catch.
Prior to today, as we look at Jefferson coming to the left along with Lofton, Whitehurst was 5 out of 6. Huckleby got 2 yards. And we have played almost 5 minutes of this third quarter. A close-up look at David Whitehurst. He's out of Furman. This is his 7th year. Richard Wood made the last tackle. They have another pretty good quarterback sitting on the Green Bay bench.
Rich Campbell, who was drafted number 1 a couple of years ago. He's been with them now for 3 years. He's 24, 6'4", 224, and he's a big one.
It's his second down for the Packers. Need, the big fullback, gets a first down inside the 40 before Cecil Johnson tackled it. Number 56.
Brad White, number 90, is playing on the nose of the offensive center, and they ran right by that area up the middle for a big gain.
Larry Rubens is in there at the center spot for the Packers, number 50. Well, he was, and now McCarron is back in there, 54. McCarron. First down. Fake to Ellis, gave him the ball, and he shouldn't have.
No. Yeah, they were off. That's right. He should have taken it out and given it to the halfback because they had it faded right up the middle and gang tackled the ball carrier, Mike Meade, number 39.
Brad White and Cecil Johnson leading the way. We've played 6 minutes in the third quarter, and the clock is running. Here's what's happening elsewhere. Look at the Eagles, 21-7 over Atlanta in the third quarter. And Minnesota has been ahead throughout, and they lead Dallas 24-13 in the third quarter.
Blitz.
Lofton caught it. And it's, what do they rule? Out of bounds with it?
You see the blitz coming up the middle. He still had plenty of time to throw the ball. Throws it outside to Lofton. It was a little late and went right through like a two-point play. You never see that very often.
It is back to us up here. The ball just slid right down his thigh. Jeremiah Castile was covering. So they missed out on a 21-yard pickup. It's third down and 11. A flag guy goes down, and so does Gary Ellis.
Another holding penalty on, I guess, Jack, on the offensive line.
Mike Washington, Jeremiah Castillo, Hugh Green were all there, and holding against Green Bay stops the clock with 8:20 left in the third quarter. And we have some scores of other games that we'll show you here in a moment. There's been no scoring in this third quarter, so our count here is still 49-7. Back to midfield goes the Pigskin.
Holding, 69, offense, third down.
Leotis Harris at the right guard was caught for holding. And the 49ers are in good shape in the third quarter, 23-6 over New England. Third down, 21 here. Let's see what kind of forward progress they gave him. Apparently short by about a foot on third down. Jeremiah Castillo made the tackle on Lofton.
That was the kind of passing I was referring to a little while ago when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had the ball, Jack. You got to throw the ball downfield in an 18 to 25-yard area behind the linebackers and between the defensive backs. That play opened up beautifully that time, and Whitehurst hit him right on the numbers. But that's the kind of passing that I think Tampa Bay has to do if they can get the pass protection they need to throw the ball deep downfield.
They bring in Jesse Clark. It's fourth down and a yard. At the Tampa Bay 30. In the end zone and incomplete to the tight end, Gary Lewis.
Gary Lewis was held going downfield, but the official did not see him. And, boy, he really got a shot coming off the ball. He'd have popped right open. Let's see if we play action pass inside.
Mike Washington, number 40, covering upfield. So the ball goes over to Tampa Bay at their 30-yard line. History were Don Hudson with 488, then Boyd Dowler, Max McGee, Bill Houghton, and now James Lofton with 300 receptions in his career. Tampa Bay from their 30. Gary Goldstein to put it up. And the pass reception, a fumble, and it's recovered by Tampa Bay. They get the ball. Carver recovered the fumble.
Here's what we were talking about a minute ago, Jack. They're not going to throw the ball short. They have good protection this time. Look, he steps up into the pocket and throws the ball deeper downfield. He makes the catch. The ball is jarred loose, but it's still possession of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they have first and 10 on about the 48-yard line.
Carter caught the ball. Murphy made the tackle, and Carver recovered it. First down. Flag goes down, and the pass is caught inside the 35. Kevin House with a tough catch. The play started at the Tampa 43. An interference against offensive interference. So trailing 49-7, the Buccaneers are slowed down by that penalty. Back at the 33.
Pass interference, 82, offense, first down.
The Washington Redskins are at home and prevailing in the third quarter over the Raiders.
You know, they're an amazing team. Nobody gives them the credit they really deserve. They played so well, have won so many games. They've won 10 games in a row on the road. And a lot of games, I forget how many specifically, but they're really doing a great job after coming off that Super Bowl win.
Goldstein with a good touch on the ball and some yards for the Buccaneers out across the 40-yard line. Hauling the ball in was Jerry Bell, the tight end, and the Bears are blanking Denver 24-0 in the third quarter. Rich Wingo made that tackle. It's going to be second down and 11 for the Bucs.
Look at this one, Cincinnati 31-24 over Baltimore to third quarter.
Well, the Colts are still in that. Here we have 6:10 left in the third quarter. 2nd and 11 for the Bucs. One good thing the receiver Carver did there was to catch the ball and put it right away, Hank.
He covered it up. As soon as he made the catch, he tucked it away and covered it up. And one thing you have to say about this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, you know, they're down 49-7, but they're still trying. They're working, they're playing hard, doing the very best they can do to try to make this a respectable game. Look at Seattle, 10-3 over Cleveland.
In the third quarter now. And Houston ahead of Pittsburgh by the score of 10-7. It is 3rd down and 6. Tim Lewis, the extra back, is in for Green Bay. And the tight end, Jerry Bell, was in the pattern, but the pass was incomplete. Mark Murphy was covering. They're doing a pretty good job of pass protection for Goldstein, aren't they?
They are. Yes, they are.
Although Green Bay may be laying a little bit low with the blitzes. The score
Yeah,
being what it is.
they're probably saying let him catch the ball in front. We'll make the tackle and let him kill as much time as possible. And probably that's the approach that they're taking.
It'll be the 9th punt of the day for Garcia, and Philip Epps is back inside his 15. Epps took it on the 22, 25, and he is driven back. So they'll get it out to the 27-yard line. Garcia's getting a little tired. That was a 30-yard punt, the tackle by Jim Leonard. In this third quarter, Green Bay leading as they were at the half, 49-7. Packers have the ball at their 27-yard line with David Whitehurst, the quarterback. A delay to Ellis. At about 9 yards across the 35. Ellis, a 4th-year back out of Missouri, pronounces his first name Gary. Mike Washington made the tackle. He picked his way rather nicely. He wasn't over anxious.
No, he was patient enough, and the defensive end came right up the field. And anytime he does that, why, you're going to be able to run draws inside of him in good shape.
Ron Hallstrom, number 65, made a good block. 2nd down and 1. Took a wallop. Lofton caught the ball. He was drilled from behind by Andy Hawkins, but he gets a first down at the Tampa Bay 47.
Well, that's the great thing about Jefferson and Lofton, and also Kaufman. They catch the ball and they hold on to it. They very rarely drop the football.
17-yard pickup, good for a first down. 3:55 left in the third quarter. He's down near the 41-yard line. He got about 6 yards. Tackled by John Holt on the corner. Holt is the regular left corner. He started today at the right corner. That makes a big difference, doesn't it, Hank?
It does. You like to keep people anchored on the same side so they get a level of consistency, and especially their young players. And it does make a difference. Make difference with regard to the footwork.
6 yards by Ivory. 2nd down and 4. This is Clark, the rookie out of Arkansas, who caught a touchdown pass earlier today, bringing about a 3rd and 2.
I'm still surprised to see Eddie Lee Ivory in the game this late.
Yeah, he had a hamstring injury, and they were doubtful whether or not he'd play. There's John McKay. His troops taking it on the chin. Richard Wood made that last tackle. 3rd down and a yard and a half.
3rd and about 2.
Down for Ivory. Whitehurst almost missed the snap from center. Got it to Ivory. Wood tackled him, but it's a first down at the Tampa Bay 32.
That was a reverse pivot, and you really have to get your head around quickly on that kind of a play. He was a little slow and almost missed the handoff. Watch it here now. He gets the snap, and he almost missed it. He didn't get a good possession of it. As a result, he was slow to bringing the ball around. Got to him in time, but it was very close to being a fumble.
They're playing Hallstrom, Drexler, Rubens, Harris, and Getty up front. Well, McCarron is the center, but the reserves are in there. Big yards for Jesse Clark. And with less than 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter, Clark gets big yards before Mike Washington tackled him. He picked up 9.
And he runs fast for a big guy. 6 foot 233, a rookie from Arkansas. Drafted number 7 in 1983, but he's a good back.
Second down and a yard and a half again. A minute and a half left in the third quarter. Ivory in motion. They give to Ellis. First down. And the clock is stopped with 1:16 left in the third quarter as Hawkins forced Ellis out of bounds.
David Drexler, number 61, the left guard, a rookie from North Carolina. 6'3", 264, drafted 2 in 1983. Pulled on a play and really got a great block.
The ball rests at the Tampa Bay 18 as we watch Ellis come out. Here's some more scores. Atlanta closed it in a hurry, 21-14. They trailed by 7. San Francisco pulling away from New England in the third quarter, 30-6. First down. And that's Clark who's back in there, moving inside the 15 to the 14. Abu Bakr, number 69, tackle him along with Booker Reese. And Cincinnati by 7 in the fourth quarter against the Colts. Pittsburgh by 4 over Houston now. Houston was leading a moment ago. That's in the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh with a record of 2-2 trying to catch Cleveland, but Seattle was leading Cleveland. They're coming down to the end of the third quarter. Second down and 6. First and goal. At Jefferson. You know, Hank, you and I get to see numerous teams. I don't know anybody who is tougher over the middle than J.J.
And he's not a big guy. That's the amazing thing about it. You know, he's not a big guy, but he catches a lot of balls across the middle and takes a lot of good licks, but he still maintains possession. That's the great thing about Jefferson. He's got great leaping ability.
That'll take us down to the end of the third quarter. When we resume, Green Bay will have the ball first and goal at the Tampa Bay 7. And that is the end of the third quarter. We've had no scoring in this period. The score 49-7 Green Bay. We pause for a word from your local station.
Monday. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Honda, makers of the new car, the Civic CRX, and by IBM.
First and goal for Green Bay. Trying to add to their 49-7 lead. They're at the 7-yard line with Ellis and Ivory. Good surge by the right guard, and Ivory goes inside the 5. He got about 3. And we're underway in the fourth quarter. Tackle by Richard Wood. They're not so certain they're going to get in here because Tampa Bay can still.
Yeah, they're still hanging in there tough. Yeah, they're still hanging in there tough. You know, the tough thing about it's tough enough to lose a game like this, assuming they lose it, and it's reasonable to assume that at this stage. But the tough thing is you stretch a plane ride from about 3 hours to about 10 hours. Boy, it's a long ride.
Here's the timeout called by Whitehurst. He came up with a particular play to call at the 4-yard line and checked the defense. Didn't like what he saw and called a timeout. Whitehurst has been around the block. This is his 7th year. So he knew what he was looking at, and he expended one of the Green Bay timeouts. Second and goal from the 4. At the Tampa Bay 4-yard line. Up front they have Hallstrom, Drexler, McCarron, Harris, Getty, and the 2 tight ends, including Gary Lewis. that time. Clark ran with the ball. He's trying to get his first rushing touchdown.
It's a trap block with a left guard pulling on the play. Number 61, David Drexler, who we talked about a little while ago. They really like him. They think he's going to be a great player. Played his collegiate football at North Carolina.
Jeff Davis made the tackle, and it's 3rd and 1. Meade is in there. Whitehurst threw it away. Whitehurst threw it away. Closest to it was Ron Cassidy, and it's 4th down.
That was a delay pattern, a hide pattern to the tight end, but he never got off the ground. He got stuck on the line of scrimmage, couldn't get across the other side of the field, and that's why he had to throw it away.
Here comes Stenerud into the game. You can't be ridiculous about it, Hank. If the points are there for you, you got to take them. It's not rubbing anything in.
It isn't. You just got to play football. You know, it's no different now than it was in the first quarter. They still got to continue to play. They got to block. They got to tackle. They got the same numbers, the same helmets, the same shoulder pads. They got to keep playing.
This is a 20-yard try by Stenerud, who is 5 out of 6 this year. It is good, and we have a different score to deal with. With 13:35 left in the game, it is 52-7 Green Bay. It's non-existent here. With 13:35 left in the game, Eddie Garcia kicks the ball. Owens took it on the 10. Had a good wedge in front of him, and it came out near the 29-yard line. Well, next Sunday, Green Bay has a test against Detroit. They'll be playing at Detroit, and a lot of you folks watching this one will see that one. Or you'll be watching the Minnesota-Chicago Bears game. It all starts at 12:30 Eastern Time here on CBS. And then all of you folks will see Tampa Bay at Dallas in the second game of the doubleheader. Check your local listing. Jack Thompson is back in there. What a way to start. Been sacked 3 times earlier. He just came back in for a little change of pace. And he was sacked back inside the 25-yard line by Cliff Lewis, the linebacker, number 56. That's his first sack, so he was happy about it.
Yeah, he was excited about it, and he was blitzing from the left corner, left linebacker position.
That's a 4th sack of the day for the Packers. Line of scrimmage now the 21, and it's 2nd and 17. 13 minutes left in the game. Thompson back to the 25. It'll be 3rd and 13.
I think now, you know, there's a question, probably people in the Tampa Bay area and also around the country who are watching this game. They wonder, why would you put Jack Thompson, who started the game and didn't enjoy much success, take him out of the game, bring in Goldstein, and then in the 4th quarter bring back Thompson? I think really the reason for that is you have to think about down the road a ways. You got to think about what the kid feels about what happened in the first half. Make him realize that it wasn't his fault, and maybe he can come back in the 4th quarter and do something positive and get him ready again for next week. I think that has to be the thinking of John McKay.
3rd and 13, and a diving attempt, and it is to no avail by the tight end Jimmy Bell. It's 4th down. We have 12:07 remaining in the game. Cliff Lewis was rushing in. And into the game, Frank Garcia to punt. So far today, Garcia has punted 9 times. This is number 10. Philip Epps is back inside his 30. Good kick by Garcia. Epps from the 25. 30. Ran into his own man and is knocked down at the 31-yard line. He ran into his tight end, Gary Lewis. But Green Bay has the ball back again. 11:55 left in the game. They lead 52-7. Valves on defense once again. Whitehurst pitches the ball to Huckleby. Out of bounds after getting some worthwhile yardage.
You know, Jack, we had a game like this in Denver one year, I forget when it is specifically or was, but the score was 49-7 going into the fourth quarter, and we tried to do the same thing. We tried in our favor. We were just trying to run out the clock and get out of there without getting killed. You know how those Denver fans are. We put our young people in the game, and gee, they looked better than the first team. They went right down and scored. We got 2 more touchdowns. We wound up winning the game 56-7, and everybody thought we were pouring it on. We were just trying to get out of town without getting hurt. But that's the way these kind of games go.
2nd down and 1, and a first down carried by Huckleby out to the 45. There was one other play where you tried an onside kick and told the opposition that you were going to do that, and they didn't believe you.
That was the game. We scored a touchdown, and we said, don't kick the ball deep downfield, just kick an onside kick so they can have possession and they can get the ball in the middle of the field, and maybe they can kill out the clock. We warned the people in advance, we're going to kick an onside kick, and they gave us a signal that we were still number 1. They didn't believe us, Jack.
Here's Clark breaking it wide open. He's getting a chance to ramble, and that's another first down to the 42 of Tampa Bay.
So that's what I mean about the young people getting a chance to express their ability. They're emotionally involved. They want to do well to prove to the coaches that they can play. And as a result, it looks like you're pouring it on when you're really not.
Art Starr was disappointed in his defense prior to today. They came in with a record of 2-2, but they've held the Buccaneers to only 7 points, and that on an interception.
And we asked him why he was disappointed in the defense. He said, only because I don't think that we have played up to our potential. We got some guys hurt, but that's an excuse rather than a reason. We should have played better. And he was very forthright about what he said and very sincere and genuine. And I think he's got to feel much better about the way they played today.
Ellis, no gain, about a half a yard on that one. Hugh Green popped him along with Danny Spradlin. There's Ellis coming out. This game was played today without James Wilder in the lineup for the Buccaneers.
And they miss him. He's the main cog in their offensive scheme. Came into the game with 24 catches, and he's a very fine runner. But any time that you plan to run the ball against a team like Green Bay, you don't have your best back, it's a problem.
10 minutes left in the game. Green Bay stays on the ground. Clark is very inspired as he runs very close to a first down. Let's check some scores of other games. Tie game in the fourth quarter, the Eagles and the Falcons. And Dallas inches closer in the third quarter, 24-20 Minnesota. And Washington hangs on by 6 over the Raiders in the third quarter. Chicago has given up the shutout, but still leads 24-7 in the third quarter. Seattle 10-9 over Cleveland in the fourth quarter. Cleveland's 3-1 this year, and Pittsburgh ahead of Houston 17-10 in the fourth quarter. They measured for a first down, and they're tending to an injured player. That's Hassan Abubakar, the rookie out of Texas Tech. Meanwhile, it's going to be third down for Green Bay with 9:45 left in the game. Here's yet another score, Baltimore and the Bengals. Baltimore goes back ahead, 34-31.
Well, I tell you, Frank Kush has really done a great job with that young team.
They started the day.
They were 2-2 going into the game today, and they might wind up being 3-2, which would be terrific.
Next week in the National Football League, you folks will see either Green Bay at Detroit or Minnesota against the Chicago Bears. The first game of a doubleheader starts at 12:30 Eastern. And the second game of the doubleheader, which all the fans will see, Tampa Bay against the Dallas Cowboys. Monday night, by the way, tomorrow night, Hank Stram and I will be in Buffalo for the Jets game, and the game will be on CBS Radio at 8:50 Eastern. We hope you'll tune in.
And that should be an exciting game. You know, you talk about a surprising team. The Buffalo Bills have been very surprising. They go into the game tomorrow night with a 3-1 record, and of course, everybody expected the Jets to be leading the division, and they're 2-2.
The ball is at the 31. It's third down and a yard. Here comes Huckleby, a good block, and he gets a first down. Good block was made by Tim Huffman on the right side of the line, and the tackle by Richard Wood. Green Bay gets to keep the ball with 9:15 remaining in the game.
Huffman is number 74. His name is Timothy Patrick Huffman. Played at Notre Dame. Do you think he might be Irish?
A bit. He made the block. Huffman is 6'5", 282.
And he was drafted 9 in 1981.
First down, and Whitehurst going to pass. Caught by Gary Lewis, the tight end. That Lewis is one who ran a key play against the Giants on a reverse. He almost got into the end zone. You weren't very happy the way he ran the play.
No, he really didn't do a good job of running. He should have run for the corner, number 1, and number 2. He let a defensive back who weighs about 190 tackle him, and he's about 235. There was a no contest deal, and he let it happen, and then they didn't go in for the touchdown for that reason. It was 4th and short yardage.
4th and 2. And incomplete. Stops the clock with 8:09 remaining. I don't see anybody leaving this stadium, do they?
They love this. Oh, they'll stay right after the game for a long time. Just sit here and relish this.
Have a cookout. It started with a capacity crowd of 56,189. Temperature in the 70s, an ideal day.
This stadium really reminds me, every time I come here, Jack, it really reminds me an awful lot of Notre Dame. Does it you?
A bit. I never thought of it, but it does.
It really does. The structure of it, the intimacy of the fans and the players, closest to the field, it's great.
A flag has been thrown as Lewis caught the ball and is drilled out of bounds inside the 10. And a flag has been thrown. Look at that Lewis. Look at the size of him. 6'5", 235. Johnny Ray Smith knocked him out, and there's a penalty against Tampa Bay for offside. That'll be declined, and it'll be 1st and goal from the 9. How is Denver and the Bears doing now?
Offside, 65, defense, penalty is refused. It's 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Lewis to the Tampa Bay 9. And the Bears 31-14 in the 4th quarter over Denver. Clark to the 6. 8 minutes left. Tackle by Hugh Green. That Green is as good as anybody, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He dances every dance. He's coming all the time.
Green led the team in, well, he's 2nd in tackles. As Clark goes out, talking about Hugh Green, number 53. He intercepted a pass, ran it back for a touchdown. The only points for Tampa Bay today. 7.5 left in the game. Fumble. Green Bay gets it back at the 10. It'll be 3rd and goal as Whitehurst covered the ball. 3rd and goal from the 10. Uh-oh, what's happening in the nation's capital? The Raiders by 1 in the 3rd quarter. The Raiders are undefeated, as you know, and the Redskins are 3-1.
And both teams are very strong in the 4th quarter.
We're down to 7 minutes left, and it's 3rd and goal from the 10. They want more points here in Green Bay, don't they?
They sure do.
Epps couldn't get to it. He's being chased by Smith. It's 4th down, and here comes the field goal team.
Dave Stahl's got good penetration that time, number 65, the defensive left end, and made him throw the ball before he really wanted to.
Stenerud kicked a field goal moments ago of 20 yards. This will be 28 yards. Scribner will hold the ball. 6:43 remaining in the game. 52-7 Green Bay. More points for the Packers. 55-7. It's just hard to imagine, but we're watching it. Kicking off. The deep men are Morton and Owens inside their 5. They score 55-7 Green Bay. We have 6:39 left in the game. Returned shy of the 20-yard line by Danny Spradlin. He had his chance, Hank, to run for a touchdown, and Spradlin dropped the ball.
Spradlin's a good linebacker. They got him from Dallas, and he's a young player, Jack, and they think he's going to be a good player. Speaking of Dallas, they go ahead. They find a way, leading Minnesota 27-24 in the third quarter. 6.5 minutes left. Ball at the Tampa Bay 20. Thompson is the quarterback, and he threw it out of bounds. Out of bounds. Well, let's go to New York and Brent Musburger for the NFL Today report.
Jack, the Dallas Cowboys have done it again. For the 5th straight time this season, they have come from behind to take the lead. Ron Fellows with a 59-yard return of an interception, 27-24 in the third. Cowboys. Back to Jack Buck.
Thank you, Brent. So Ron Fellows did it again. 6:23 left in this game. 2nd and 10 for Thompson and company. Good catch for a first down beyond the 30-yard line by Bell, or by T-Bell, that is. But Tim Lewis covering. Hank, already down there in the Suncoast area, they're making preparations for the Super Bowl game in January. That'll be a fun time down there.
It really will be, and I think the Tampa Bay area is going to be a super place for the Super Bowl. And I think people who will go down there for the big event will enjoy it tremendously.
I think the hometown folks are going to be a little bit surprised about how much action there is when all of the visitors come in. The ball was caught by Tyler on the throw from Thompson.
You're seeing Thompson. Now, this is what I meant before putting Thompson back in a game in the fourth quarter. Now, he's got a chance to set up a little bit. He's not getting nearly as much rush. And when he doesn't get the rush, just like any quarterback, he's going to throw the ball much, much better. Look at this now. He goes back in the pocket, got plenty of time to step. He pumps and throws the ball beautifully, right at the numbers. But that's what he's capable of doing when he's got time to throw the ball. People don't realize that sometimes.
The ball is at the 46 of Green Bay. 5:15 left in the game. That's good. Inside the 35. Down to the 32-yard line by Jerry Bell, the tight end, number 82. So Thompson is enjoying it here as the offensive unit of the Buccaneers tries to get their first points of the day. Guy Prather bumped him out.
And Jack Thompson's going to lead the game. Disappointed that they lost it like they did, but he'll feel a little bit better about his performance if he continues to throw the ball like he has, and he will if he has time enough to throw.
From the 32. Got rid of it in a hurry, and Tyler ran the ball inside the 25, close to a first down. With the ball was Andre Tyler. Second year out of Stanford. Guy Prather made the tackle along with Cliff Lewis. We're down to 4:45 left. Clock running.
And we talked to Jack yesterday, and he's a delightful kid, isn't he? Very excited about the opportunity he has here at with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and feels very good about the team. He really still thinks they've got a chance to be a good team before the season is over.
You were asking him questions. He ended up asking you questions.
Yeah, he did.
Second down. Incomplete. He just threw it away when he couldn't find anybody open, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are now 3-2 with their win over Houston, 17-10, and Houston is 0-5, and they'll be joined by Tampa Bay 4 minutes and 15 seconds of playing time from now. Houston 0-5, so Cleveland has to win to stay ahead of Pittsburgh. Third down and 1. 4:15 left in the game. gets the first down. So Tampa Bay will be able to keep the ball for a while longer. Spears made the tackle. And we have exactly 4 minutes left. Spears and Murphy on the tackle. Ball is down to the 22. Thompson threw inside the 5, and that's good. It's 1st and goal at the 4, and a magnificent catch was made by the tight end, Jerry Bell. They just got their first rushing first down of the day.
Randy Grimes, number 60, does a good job of blocking inside, and he throws the ball beautifully on the outside. He makes the catch, and he takes it right down to about the 4-yard line. You're talking about Randy Grimes, who came into camp as an offensive center, played his collegiate football at Baylor. When he was a freshman, he weighed 205 as a freshman. Now he weighs 275. He really got pumped up, works on the weights, and they think he's an excellent prospect.
Ball is at the 4, 1st and goal. Touchdown. Oh! He dropped it. Melvin Carver dropped it, and a flag has been thrown. Carver had a ball right in his arms.
They flooded the area. They had 3-on-2, and the ball was thrown perfectly. He just dropped it. Might be a
delay of game against Green Bay. The ball was at the 4-yard line. It goes to the 2. Tell us about it, Tom.
Delay of game. 12 men on a defensive team. It's 1st down.
It's 1st and goal from the 2. Clock is stopped with 3:26 remaining. Tampa Bay has 3 timeouts left. Green Bay has 2. The score is 55-7 in favor of Green Bay, and now Thompson calls the timeout. First timeout employed by the visiting Buccaneers. The thing about it is that they have dominated Green Bay in recent years. Green Bay hasn't won since 1978.
Yeah, I think they won 5 in a row, Jack. 5-0-1.
Tonight on CBS, an all-new 60 Minutes, followed by Alice, One Day at a Time, the Jeffersons, Goodnight Beantown, and Trapper John, MD. We're down to 3:26 left. Out of the last 6, Tampa Bay has won 5 and tied 1. There's Boyd Dowler. Boy, he had some glorious moments on this field, didn't he?
He really did. Look at the size of him. He was a great big receiver, and very, very big for that time in professional football. He'd be very big now. But he was a great possession kind of a receiver. Very bright, very intelligent. He's doing a great job for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They like him very much.
Ball is at the 2 for the Bucs. Their defense gave them their only touchdown. Hugh Green intercepted a pass and ran it in. 21 yards. Now the offense tries to get on the board. Owens, the tailback. Toss to Owens. He gets in. So Tampa Bay touchdown. They'll be dancing in the streets in Clearwater and St. Petersburg and Tampa this evening.
Here we see the replay. Motion right. Student body right. Owens goes to the right side and goes for the corner and makes it into the end zone for the touchdown.
That's his 4th of the year. Extra point try by Bill Capice. The score 55-13 and 3:21 left. The extra point department, Capice is 4 out of 4. Think they ought to go for 2 here, Hank?
Wrong league. Wrong league for them.
Capice from Florida State. He makes it good. 55-14.
You know, the holder for Capice in high school was David Schuler, Don Schuler's boy.
Oh, yes?
Yep.
You know, the thing about Tampa Bay, they lost 11-0 to Detroit. They lost to the Bears 17-10. They lost in overtime to Minnesota 19-16, and they had a chance to win it with a field goal but missed. And they lost by 6 to Cincinnati, so they've been in every game. But look at this score, 55-14 with 3:21 remaining. Again, we hope you folks will tune Hank and me in tomorrow night from Buffalo at 8:50 Eastern Time for the Jets game on CBS Radio.
We haven't seen the Jets, or we haven't seen the Buffalo Bills so far, so it'll be kind of exciting to see them for the first time.
Buffalo 3-1, the Jets 2-2. Harlan Huckleby is back awaiting the kick, and everybody in the stadium expects an onside kick by Capice as Tampa Bay tries to keep the ball. Capice is only 5'7". He's really dwarfed out there by the other players. Let's see if he kicks it short. No, he doesn't. And Huckleby lets it go over his head, and it goes out of the end zone. It'll come out to the 20-yard line with 3:15 remaining in the game. Hank, if he had tried the onside kick, then you'd be able to say, well, look, they're still trying to win the game, so we should still try to score, right?
Yeah, but I think probably what they feel is, in that kind of a situation, there's still 3:15 left in the game, and they think maybe they can stop and get a better chance. Percentage-wise, they maybe get another chance to get a score that way. I don't. That's probably what they're thinking.
Look what the Raiders are doing at Washington. They're leading by 8 in the fourth quarter, and Rich Campbell, out of California, in his third year, number 19, is the Green Bay quarterback. With 3:15 remaining, he tosses the ball to Ellis, and Ellis gets 6. Tackled by David Logan, the nose guard. We had a visit with Campbell in a previous Green Bay game. He said that he thinks he can play in this league, and obviously he thinks that. And he hasn't had any playing time. This is the first time he's been in this season.
And he wants to be a minister when he gets through with his football, Jack.
Youngster is 6'4", 219, out of California. 2:45 left. Play on 2nd and 4, gets a few yards and tempers flare. Dave Stalls jumps in there and got after Tim Huffman. No flags have been thrown. It's 3rd down. Danny Spradlin made the tackle, and we're down to 2:15 left. And now a whistle and a timeout. Charge to Tampa Bay. They're down to 1 left. They'll get another at the 2-minute warning. Why they want to delay the finish of this debacle, I don't know, but that's their choice. 55-14 the score. Hank, judging by what I observed at halftime when the Suncoast press corps descended on the owner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Hugh Culverhouse, they're going to be screaming long and loud down there when this one is over.
I'm sure they will be, but the only thing that really matters, I know the fans are very disappointed, and they should be, and and I know that John McKay and his coaching staff and players, they feel badly about the way they played here this afternoon. But the one thing that really is only important is what the owner feels about the coach and the coaching staff and the situation. And as long as he feels strongly about it, which he does, why everything's going to be fine.
Hugh wasn't at all upset. He was very calm. He said, I kind of expected it here today.
Listen, when an owner can endure 26 losses in a row, you know you got something special.
It is a 3rd down play for Green Bay with Campbell the quarterback. He tosses the ball to Ellis. Ellis is out of bounds without getting the 1st down. There goes a flag. And we'll give him the 1st down. Probably. Andy Hawkins bumped him out. LeBeau in there defensively for the Buccaneers also. Personal foul against the Buccaneers. 2:07 left in the game. Probably a late hit out of bounds. A little stroll for the referee, Tom Dooley. We sailed through the early part of this game with very few flags. It's about normal now. The ball out to the 40.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 29, of the defensive team. First down.
He said number 29. It was probably number 20, LeBeau. Yeah, LeBeau is the fellow who did it, number 29. Now we have 2:07 left, and it's a first down for the Packers. They lead 55-14. Clark gets some good yards. 2 minutes left in the game, and the officials will take a timeout. The score here at the end of the first quarter was 14-0. It was 49-7 at the half, and it's 55-14 with 2 minutes left. We have 2 minutes left in the game. It's a second down and 7 for the Packers. Tampa Bay can stop the clock only one time. They have one timeout left. Campbell hands it off to Meade, and Meade is hauled down at his 45-yard line, bringing about a third down play. Hugh Green was the tackler.
Richard Wood was also involved in the play, and the defense, Jack, they're still hanging in there tough and trying to do the best they can.
Limping off slightly is Danny Spradlin, going to the bench. We're down to a minute and a half left. It's a third down play. And the Packers have to come to midfield to get a first down. Clark turned it upfield. He's short of a first down by about a yard. And you're right, Hank, about that Tampa Bay defense. They're still going to the ball.
Yeah, they really are. They're hustling, pursuing, tackling, hitting people. They got involved in a little push and shove contest. They didn't just let it stand back and let them happen. They all jumped on the Green Bay guy.
And they're still trying. They employ their fourth timeout. Hugh Green, the tackler, along with Booker Reese. Fourth down and inches coming up at midfield for Green Bay. So fourth down coming up after the timeout expires, and that's the last timeout Tampa Bay has coming to them. Executive producer of CBS Sports, Terry O'Neill. Senior producer, Chuck Milton. This game produced by John Feretzis, Tacanis down in the truck, and directed by Joe Assetti. Associate producer Bill Brown, and others involved. Green Bay is going to let Tampa Bay have it for the remainder unless they snap it short. They have the punter Bucky Scribner in there to do the kicking with 1:09 left. And back to get it is Andre Tyler. Tyler's averaged 7.2 per punt return. I think this is the time of the game when you better keep your eyes open and your head up or you're going to get hurt. You stand around, you get nailed.
That's right. You got to play hard.
Oh, what a big kick. But it goes into the end zone and is whistled dead there. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. A 50-yard kick by Bucky Scribner, the rookie out of Kansas. He's had a good year. He's averaged 42 yards per punt. As long as it's been 55. And Tampa Bay will start from their 20-yard line with 1:01 left in the game. Never expected this, Mr. Strand.
Nope, I sure didn't either.
Tampa Bay started with a record of 0-4, and Green Bay will have a record of 3-2 when it's over. Jack Thompson is the quarterback. And that pass was taken in by Jerry Bell, the tight end, consuming only 5 seconds and a first down. Put the ball down at the 38, covered by Guy Prather and Mark Murphy. As you say, Hank, you can't surrender. You just have to play it out.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. It's not like a fist fight or a boxing match. You throw in the towel and you go home, it's all over. You got to stay in there and hang in there and endure the thing and suffer through the whole works.
ball is caught in miraculous fashion down at the Green Bay 45 by Theo Bell.
And I emphasize again, you know, how much better Thompson is throwing now, only because he's got more of an opportunity to set and throw and get rid of the football.
And Green Bay is playing it rather vanilla fashion on defense. Three-man rush. Here's a little swing pass, incomplete, stopping the clock with 28 seconds left in the game. Melvin Carver, the intended receiver, but this late surge may give Thompson a little more confidence as he heads into their game next week, which is at Dallas. He better have some confidence.
He better is right. And, of course, I think that, I think that's why John McKay put him in the game, just to make sure that he felt better about himself going back and getting ready for next week.
28 seconds left. 2nd and 10 from the 44. That's caught for a first down inside the 30. Now we're down to 19 seconds left in the game. T-Bell caught another. 15 seconds left. Hurry up offense for Tampa Bay. Incomplete. 5 seconds left.
He saw that coming. Good thing he didn't throw it on a direct line, or else it'd have been intercepted.
He was trying to get it to Carver. Covering was Cliff Lewis, and I want to tell you, with that ball in the air, Lewis could have really undressed Carver, couldn't he?
He could have. He certainly could have.
The ball sailed overhead, incomplete, and we have 5 seconds remaining in the game. With our 55-14 score. Devastating first half, second quarter against Tampa Bay. Four, 3, 2, 1. Game's over, and it is a touchback. Intercepted by Johnny Gray, number 24, came away with the ball. How'd he catch that with all those people there? This game is over. And Green Bay has won it 55-14. There's Bart Starr and John McKay. What do you say after you beat a guy by 41 points? Nice game.
Yeah, it's a tough situation, but it's better. He's got to feel better him than me. That's a bit.
We have a good post-game show coming up for you, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a long trip back home after taking it on the chin here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. So stick around, and we'll show you a lot as Bart Starr sprints to the dressing room, feeling